Now to head back out to Brooklyn and be joined by Michael Scotto, who covers the Brooklyn Nets out there in New York, Basketball Insider senior NBA writer, and also contributes to the Associated Press. Thanks for your time this afternoon there in New York. Let's first talk about this Brooklyn Nets team under a new head coach, Kenny Atkinson. What are the major differences we'll see on the court this year versus years in the past?
Well, first off, guys, I think the first thing that you're going to notice with the Nets is a different culture. The way they warm up before the game, you're not seeing guys hanging out in the locker room. They're all out here putting in their work and effort, and it's a big difference. On the court, another thing that you're going to see is the expanded range of center Brook Lopez. This is a 7-footer that's shooting threes unconsciously right now, and he has no qualms about doing it whatsoever. We've seen him in years past previously warm up and take a few in the corner, but now he's extending onto both sides of the court, top of the key, on the elbow as well, extended. We're seeing a new Brook Lopez and kind of the new age of centers and in the league where three-point shooting is really a new factor. Also, another guy keep an eye on is Trevor Booker. He's a guy that looks to be an early contender for the Most Improved Player of the Year award, a guy that is averaging nearly a double-double, and he is the heart and soul of the Brooklyn Nets on defense, diving for loose balls. Look for both of those guys to have a big impact tonight against the Portland Trail Blazers.
The Nets signed Alan Crabbe to an offer sheet this offseason. Portland matched it. In Brooklyn, what's their view on Alan Crabbe at this point?
Well, certainly they would have liked to have had Alan Crabbe. He's a guy that would be a starting caliber shooting guard or / small forward for many teams in this league. It's just that currently he's playing with Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum, but I actually spoke to him just a few moments ago in the locker room before that, and certainly every once in a while, as in normal human nature, he wonders what if, but he's more than happy to be back with Portland, a team that made sure to develop him and has gotten a lot out of him to this point. He still thinks he can grow with this team alongside of Damian Lillard and C.J. McCollum. But when it comes to Brooklyn, certainly when you offer a guy a 4-year, $75 million contract for a guy that's predominantly been a reserve, they valued him quite highly.
And finally, a couple years removed now from that trade that sent Mason Plumlee to Portland, and Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, who was hurt much of last year. We haven't had a chance to see him up close and personal yet here in Portland. How does Brooklyn feel about that trade now, almost a couple of years out?
You know, I think what Brooklyn was looking for was an athletic type of defender, somewhat in the mold of Tony Allen, who can guard a swingman, guard a point guard, and be a defensive stalwart. And I think Rondae has been versatile in that regard. Certainly, they miss Plumlee's athleticism, a guy that didn't need the ball on offense. He was a great role player and knew his role. And when Brook Lopez was down with injuries, he was one of the best backup centers in the league and a guy that averaged 15 and 10 when he started and when Jason Kidd was previously the coach. So certainly, I think the trade worked out well for both teams, and you're seeing Plumlee have a big role with Portland right now. I just think that when it came to the Nets, they felt that they needed to upgrade in a different area, and that's what they did. And vice versa, the same with the Portland Trail Blazers. To me, it seems like a win-win for both teams.
Mike Scotto, thanks for the information. Really appreciate the time. Check him out on basketballinsiders.com.